what is the results of the Elaf? Let's see the results of the Elaf. The Elaf system represented a vast leap for trade in the Arabian Peninsula. Let's see the results. Number one, it has ensured that goods will not be interrupted due to wars. This is very important, that goods will not be interrupted due to wars or conflicts. As Mecca has become a mediating center between the warring forces, here is the warring forces, the forces of influence, and Mecca became a mediating center between these warring forces, transferring this trade to that and vice versa, without being affected by political changes. Number two, the tribes controlling the commercial transport routes. The tribes on the way of the route. This is the route from Mecca to Levant, and this is the route from Mecca to Yemen. The tribes here, and this which gave the Elaf, which promised Hashim ibn Abd Manaf to protect the voyage or the caravan during its journey. These tribes adhered to the Elaf that they gave to Hashim. They protect these tribes in the way of the caravan. They protect and serve the caravan because of their interests, and even increased their products and surpluses in order to increase their profit from participating in the convoys. Number three, in addition, the money exchange activity increased due to the circulation of Yemeni, Persian, and Byzantine currencies as a result of the trade of these countries in Mecca. So, as a result of the trade of these countries in Mecca, there is increase in the circulation of Yemeni, Persian, and Byzantine currencies. So the Mecca knows the activity of money changers, and they made a fortune of this. Number four, it also facilitated the movement of trade coming from outside the Arabian Peninsula. Like Egypt, for example, the trade of Egypt came through the Levant, and the trade of Abyssinia came through the Red Sea, and the trade of India through Yemen, and so on. Number four, as a result of this led to increase in the activity of the ports, particularly on the Red Sea, like Yanbu and Jeddah. Here is Yanbu and Jeddah on the Red Sea. It leads to the activity of these ports. Number six, the Meccans' interest in participating in foreign trade has increased. The Meccans no longer want local trade. They want to participate in foreign trade, and their interest is increased in participating in foreign trade. So this is no longer limited to the wealthy of the country. Rather, the less wealthy group have participated in this trade, whether from their savings or through the interest-based borrowing, which led to an increase in the profit of the money lenders. This increase in the profit of the money lenders. Number seven, some tribes rushed to request the entry of the Elaf or to take advantage of it, even if it was not located on the usual trade route. So the tribes, the other tribes here, which are not in the way of the trade, this is the way of the trade, either from the Mecca to the Levant or from Mecca to Yemen. The other tribes far away here, they want to get advantage of the Elaf in the hope of gaining profit, and also to benefit from the protection of their convoys during their passage through the Elaf area. Number eight, this leads because these tribes are not in the way of the Elaf, and they want to participate. So as a result of this, this leads to the opening of new roads and new markets. In these circumstances, the influence of Quraish increased to the extent that the traveler on the head of the convoy, the one who guides the convoy, the leader, was sufficient to say that he was one of the people of the Haram. It was sufficient for him to say that he is one of the Meccan people. Or put a necklace with a piece of the haram tree in order to be protected from any harassment while on his way. Number 10, finally, the interaction of the tribes and the clans through the Elaf has facilitated the entry of some of them into side alliance to achieve some common benefits. The reader in the ancient Arabs history realizes that the Elaf was a vast leap, as it began as a project between two parties aiming to serve one tribe in one town. Then it expanded to represent wide commercial network and a large human activity that interacted with economy, politics, social and cultural life in a profound and very influential way. Simply tracing the various aspects of an Arab's life before the Elaf. Remember their lives before the Elaf. Remember, I told you, Ibn Abbas said that Quraish was experiencing the severity of hunger and poverty in some years, in the years of droughts. You know, Arabia is not a cultivating land. So at the years of drought, they experienced the severity of hunger and poverty in some years, and some may die of starvation without asking anyone. The Arabs, they don't ask for food, or they feel ashamed to ask for something. And they may die of starvation without asking anyone. And he said, Ibn Abbas said that when they were very hungry, when the Arabs were very hungry, the man would take his wife and his children and do atifad. What is atifad? This means going to a well-known place where they would hide until they die one by one without asking anyone. Atifad is suicide, to get rid of the pain of hunger. So comparing all the various aspects of an Arab's life before the Elaf with them after the Elaf, oh wow. This makes us stand on the great impact of this system, which we can describe as the innovator according to the standard of its time. This helped the network of communication that it formed, spreading the culture of Mecca to the entire region. And indeed, Byzantine merchants came to Mecca. Even the Byzantine merchants came to Mecca and paid its masters tax in exchange for their trade in its markets. They want to get benefit of the Elaf. So even the Byzantine merchants came to Mecca and they paid the masters of Mecca tax in exchange for their trade in its markets and obtaining the right to protection and service. Allah in the Holy Quran talked about the Elaf in Surah Quraish, and we are going to talk about this in a separate video. So the credit for this administrative, commercial, and intellectual revolution is due to Hashim ibn Abd Manaf, who established and managed this great project. And after his death, his brothers followed him and managed this project after his death. References: الرحيق المختوم، السيرة النبوية، إلاف قريش، البصائر والذخائر، أبي حيان التوحيدي، المحبر، أبي جعفر محمد بن حبيب. Also جمهرة النسب، جمهرة النسب هشام ابن محمد السائب الكلبي أبو المنذر. المنمق أخبار قريش محمد بن حبيب البغدادي. تاريخ العرب قبل الإسلام محمد سهيل دقوش. المفصل في تاريخ العرب قبل الإسلام للدكتور جواد علي. جزيرة العرب قبل الإسلام الدكتور برهان الدين دلو. تاريخ قريش الدكتور حسين مؤنس. أطلس تاريخ الإسلام للدكتور حسين مؤنس. Thank you so much.